What's up, everyone? I am so excited for this holiday season, and one of my favorite holidays is Christmas, especially the memories of decorating the tree with my family. So I thought, why wouldn't I show you guys how to make your own Christmas ornaments? Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get that clay centered. Once that clay is centered, go ahead and dig a hole down that middle. Make sure that you leave that hole a little bit wide, a little bit thick on the bottom. That'll help make trimming a lot easier. The next thing you're going to want to do is take a rib that has a nice rounded edge and press that into the bottom. So once that's all done, now is the time to pull up the walls. So you're not going to really want to destroy that inside shape. So what you're going to want to do is kind of keep your fingers wet. Keep your fingers along the bottom of that and just kind of swoop up with it. We're eventually going to close up this top all the way to join, kind of like we did if you saw the video on how to do a donut base. This is a very similar method, but actually we're going to use some collaring on this one. Make sure that you get a little bit of height. That'll help you collar it in a little bit more later. And make sure you keep that bottom nice and round. This isn't going to be a very big ornament, but now you're just going to kind of start collaring it in. So what you're going to do with collaring is I typically start with the top and work my way down to make it nice and round. And once you get this closed in, that amount of air is going to be trapped in there, and that's when you can really kind of start pushing up and down and forming the pot, or the ornament in this case. And so you're going to kind of have your hands like this, and you're just going to kind of slowly guide it in. I typically put pressure here, here, and then on my thumb. And this kind of just guides and makes sure that it stays on center. And you're just going to kind of push it in. So now, to collar this kind of closed, I'm just going to use two of my fingers. You can use any of these. I'm going to use my middle and my thumb. And you're just going to kind of pinch it in. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit, and then the next part is going to be trimming, which will take a little bit of an extra step than trimming usually does. So hold on and we will take a look at that. Alright, so it is time to trim. So you can see here that I have just a little cylinder. Because I'm trying to round this off and this bottom part is round, this isn't going to rest very well there. So I throw a little cylinder so I can rest it right in there. The great thing about ornaments or other sculptural things that you're going to do is you don't have to worry about food safety. That means you can go absolutely crazy on glazes, which makes you can produce some really cool glazes on these that drip and create crystals and metallic looks. It's one of my favorite things about doing sculptural pieces is go crazy on glazes. So that's about exactly where I want it. I can feel it's getting pretty thin. So I'm just going to smooth it down now. And get a nice clean finish. Alright, so the last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have it hang on something. So you're going to poke some holes in it. You can do this with a needle tool, but I've found that that's going to be a little too thin. So I have a brush point that's a little bit thicker that I like to use when I do this, and typically you can do it like my first piece where it has a little thing that pops up like a typical ornament, but I like to do it a little bit like this so it hangs kind of more organically. So I'm going to press down just a little bit so I can get underneath the clay, and I'm going to find where that pokes through on this side. So it's going pretty deep, so I'm going to come over here, push down a little bit, and push in. Make sure you cut off make sure you cut off this piece here so it can rest on something while it's firing. Otherwise, it's going to roll around and you can't glaze it that well.
Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you share your results with us. This is a great thing to do with kids. And we would love to see your ornaments hanging on whatever you put them on.